In this video, you're going to learn how to make a delicious and yummy black velvet cake. This cake is absolutely special. You need a bowl that's big enough for your final batter. Put your dry ingredients into the bigger bowl because you're going to then add the wet ingredients to that. So you want to sieve your flour. We're using all-purpose plain flour, so you want to sift that into the bowl. Sifted flour is lighter and airier and makes a good sponge cake. So this black velvet cake is actually more like a sponge cake and not like your typical chocolate cake. So make sure that you sieve your flour. You should also definitely sieve your cocoa powder. Use the best quality cocoa powder that you can afford. Honestly, you will taste the difference in your cake. Make sure that you sieve it because cocoa powder tends to clump. If you are left with clumps of cocoa powder, just use your sieve to gently push it through the sieve. Next, you add in your sugar and then you're going to measure out your baking powder and bicarbonate of soda. If you look in the description section, you'll have the full list of all the ingredients. Whisk all the dry ingredients well until it's nicely combined. And then once you whisk it together, just set that aside and let's start preparing the wet ingredient. So we're using melted butter. So this is the butter that's already melted. We're going to add oil. Use a neutral oil like a vegetable oil or sunflower oil. Add the buttermilk to the mixture. The buttermilk should be at room temperature. Whisk until it's well combined. That might take some time because you're whisking milk and oil, which doesn't like to come together. But if you keep mixing it, as you can see, it's all coming together and you can't even see that yellowiness of the butter anymore. Once that's come nicely together, we're going to add the eggs. Add the eggs all together at once before whisking together. If you haven't subscribed to Dr. Mummy Cake's channel, you are missing out big time, so do subscribe today. So whisk the eggs in for about a minute until it's very well combined, and we're going to add vanilla. Again, vanilla, use vanilla extract, not vanilla essence. You're going to add your vinegar. You can use malt vinegar or white vinegar. Mix together so it's well combined, and this is our wet ingredients. Look at that. So you can see it's a nice white color. Everything is all mixed together and nothing is separated. This is what your wet mixture should look like. Use your whisk to just basically like make a little well in the center of the dry ingredients and then pour in the wet ingredients. So you can see why I said make sure that you use a big enough bowl, because you can see now that we have both the wet and the dry ingredients together in one bowl, and you want to have space to be able to mix it properly. So initially it'll be quite stiff, but you just keep whisking together until you can't see any big clumps of flour, and it will all come together. Now, if you have made my chocolate cake recipe, you will notice straight away that this batter is actually quite thick and gooey. It's not thin like the chocolate batter, and this is because this black velvet cake is actually a delicious sponge-like chocolate cake, which is absolutely delightful. So this is what your batter should look like. It should be thick, but not so thick that it can't drop off the whisk when you lift it up. So that's the consistency that your batter should be looking like if you have followed all the steps properly. Let me share with you a trick on how you can get your cakes the same height. Weigh them, yes. Weigh your cake batter so that you can pour equal amount of batter into the cake tins. Give it a tap to get rid of any pesky air bubbles. We don't want that in our cake, and then pop it in the oven to bake, and you'll know that your cake is ready once you stick in a skewer and it comes out cleanly. Then you know that your cake is ready. So this cake, like I said, is a beautiful, delightful sponge cake. Tastes like chocolate goodness. Again, if you use really good quality cocoa powder, you will taste the chocolateness in this cake. And all you have to do is just, decorate your cake and eat. If you want to go full on with chocolate, you can do chocolate buttercream. It also works well with just plain old vanilla buttercream, or even with something like cream cheese frosting. So the list of what you can do with this cake is absolutely endless. So make sure that you make this cake at home, because it will become one of your favorite chocolate cake. Till next time, I will see you, and happy baking.